Hello. Oh, I forgot my glasses. Oh, wait. Yeah. Cleaning my glasses. Proud of myself today. What'd you do, Ryan? I'm always proud of you, Ryan, but what'd you do? Spider-Man, Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Hey, Greg, just finished. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought that was still the song. Just finished marathoning all of the Andrew and Toby films. Tomorrow it's all MCU, and then on Saturday it's the big movie. Dragoon, Ryan, Flipnote, Sentinel, Hero, Jet Black, Nebula, Atomic. What's going on, everybody? Hello. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Disney Watcher. I installed an SSD into the M.2 drive of my PS5. So now I have 3 terabytes in there. Did it all by myself while following the instructions. Ryan, it was surprisingly easy, wasn't it? It was like when you first do something with computers, like with hardware, you pump yourself up to think that that it's more difficult, right? Because you get in your mind like I could screw this up. I'm gonna put it in the wrong slot. And I'm gonna turn it on, and the power's gonna kill it. I'm gonna zap it with static electricity or something. Like you get all these things, and then you do it, and you're like, oh, that's it. Like I still remember. I remember the first time I did anything with a computer like that was it was my computer a long time ago, and I needed RAM. I needed extra RAM. So Pedro, who I've mentioned before, he got me a couple sticks of RAM, and I'm like, okay, Pedro, you got to come over and do this. And he's like, no, you don't need me to do that. Like, what are you talking about? This is computer stuff, man. I'm going to kill it. He's like, no, look, turn it off, unplug everything, open up the side. You're going to see slots. You'll see the other ones. They look the same. You're going to take out the ones that are in there. Actually, no, I didn't even have to take them out. He's like, you're going to see there's an extra slot. There're going to be extra slots there that don't have anything in them. It's only going to fit in there one way. Put that in the slot, push it down. You'll hear it click, and you're good. So I was like, all right, I'm going to try it. And I did it, and I was amazed. I was pumping myself up for it to be worse than it actually was. But I'm proud of you, Ryan. Ryan, you've got the bug. You've got it. Now you're like, oh, I can do stuff like this. This is easy. Computers are adult Lego, right? They're designed to fit together. That's how it works. But it's adult Lego that realistically a kid could do if you told them what to do. It's crazy. It's so cool. I would do it more. It's just, I only really need one computer, and parts are expensive now anyway. 5.5 gig read speed. My PS5 is never gonna have to load a damn thing. When I built this computer and I put an SSD in it. I don't have an M.2. I just have a regular SSD. I put an SSD in it. I was like, oh, this is amazing. Why is not everybody doing this with their computer? This is unbelievable. Hold on, let me go back up here. By the way, Uncle, did you hear Final Fantasy XIV is not letting any new people join and are now pulling back advertising, especially for the free trial? Yes, I did hear that. That is crazy. Are they still doing the thing where if you have the free trial, you're not allowed to play? I know they were doing that. They were doing for the people that were not on paid access. You had to, you weren't allowed to get access to it unless you like subbed up for monthly subs or whatever. Are they still doing that? See Spider-Man at 3:45 on the West Coast. Let's see here. My take on what's a good remake. My take on what makes a good remake. It needs to still hold the spirit of the simple answer is it needs to still hold the spirit of the original game while adding quality of life improvements that don't take away from the original. If there's something in the original or there's too much in the original that I would rather play the original than the remake, you did a remake wrong. You did, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's probably deeper than that, but I don't want to get too far into it right now because I want to talk for a little bit and then I want to get into the game. Not welcome to Final Fantasy XIV. The game no longer wants you. Yeah, there's no free trial. You do not get Heaven's Ward. We didn't win any awards. Please don't stop in here. My PC has an SSD 500 gigs for my OS and programs and a 1 terabyte for file storage and like videos, pictures. I have a 500 gig that has my OS and most of my programs on it. And then I put another 500 gigs in there, both SSDs, just to have extra storage. I also have a 1 terabyte SSD that I'm not doing anything with. Like, it's literally just sitting here in the box. What I may do is put Windows on it and then put that in one of my laptops. I may put that in my laptop so that it runs. Because if you, for anybody that wants to know if you want to upgrade your computer, like if you have an older PC, what should you upgrade first? Like if you have to go the upgrade route, upgrade to your hard drive to an SSD. There is, in my opinion, there is no greater noticeable speed increase than upgrading your hard drive to an SSD. It's incredible. It'll feel like a whole new computer. It'll feel like a whole new computer upgrading to an SSD. Speaking of the PS5, my store has a few in the back room. It's tempting, but $500 is still too much for my brain to allow me to spend. They're saying you can still play, but only at odd hours when literally no one else is playing. That's kind of wild. You know what's crazy, Dragoon? I think about that. I was thinking about that, the fact that the free player, because we had talked a little bit about that before, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, that's not right. That's not fair. It sucks that they're playing to the people that are paying as opposed to the people that are free." And I defended that. I said, you know what? It also wouldn't be fair if you pay to get into this service and you don't get something preferential, right? Obviously, you're getting access to the full game instead of just the first 2 expansions. But something occurred to me. Is that no different than, let's say we had 500 viewers and chat was moving so fast that no one could read anything? What would I have to do? I'd have to put it in sub-only mode. Is that incorrect? Would I be a monster to put it in sub-only mode to prioritize the people who are supporting the channel that way? I could do slow mode, but even slow mode is kind of like at some point you have to create slow mode only works a little bit though. At some point you'd have to create a bottleneck to organize the content. So realistic, a lot of people don't like the idea of sub only mode, but you look at some of these streamers that have thousands of viewers at a time and they all want to talk. They can't really read. Like when I watch somebody like Tim the Tatman, someone that's got 30,000 viewers, it doesn't bother me too much that they don't sit there and read the chat, because that chat moves so fast and there's so many different points and opinions coming up that you have to filter it out somehow. He leaves his chat off of sub-only mode. He leaves it in regular mode, but he can't interact with the chat. I like interacting with the chat. I have said time and time again that interacting with no matter how big we got, interacting with chat is never something I want to lose. So I would have to embrace something like sub-only mode or slow mode, where I only allow comments once every 5 minutes. Like let's say we were sitting here and we had 10,000 viewers. I would have to put it in slow mode, and I would have to limit I would have to limit your messages to 5 minutes, maybe even 10 minutes, depending on how long everybody's interacting. Twitch is weird. Oh wait, what happened? AGM. So much for Twitch to notify me. Everybody says that they don't get notified as much as they would like to. I finally backed up my computer on an external hard drive, hard rice the other day. I felt like I have yet to do that. You saw Ghostbusters. What did you think of Ghostbusters? I haven't. Matrix is going to be the first movie I see. Although I am tempted to go and see Spider-Man this weekend if they have tickets. If they have tickets available, I am tempted to go and see it. If we don't do Community Day, it's because either something happened or I went to see Spider-Man. The new war in Warframe has finally started and I'm missing something required, so I can't start the quest. Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry, Ronan. I mean, I hate to chase you away from the stream, but is that something that you can go and get right now? I'd love for you to be here for the stream, but if you're on a timer to do this thing in the game, that's got to do it. Not everyone would have a chance to reply to something. Yes. I mean, when it got out of Activision, Bungie made Destiny, with the exception of expansions, completely free. Subscriber only sucks because you can't talk, but also people can't afford it. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I don't do it. That's why I would never do that. I would try my best to never do it. But at some point, you would get 10,000 viewers all trying to talk at once. So, especially for the just chatting segment or like the silver lining where I want to have conversations with all of you, I would have to put it in some sort of, I would have to put it in extremely slow mode. And this kind of feels worse to me. Who is that? Sentinel, you kind of touched on it. I leave it out of slow mode. I don't put it in sub-only mode. I let everybody talk as much as they want. I read the odd comment here and there, and then the majority of everybody else feels like they're not heard. And I don't want to do that either. And that's the problem. As much as I love having a smaller stream where I can talk with everybody, the bottom line is if and when we get bigger, I'm going to have to make concessions about chat and how I read them and what messages I read. I'm seeing Spidey with John on Saturday. Wait, with John? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. He lives down there. To be fair, many people set up bits so you can use those to post a comment in sub-only mode, which is great, but that still costs money. You know what I mean? If I set up 100 bits to make a comment while in sub-only mode, why not just spend 500 bits, aka $5, and sub for the month and comment all you want for the month? You know what I mean? So it's you could do it, but it's kind of not necessary. I'd probably make it 50 bits or something, right? So something real chintzy that everybody wants to just put up there. I get notified near the end of most people's streams. Hold on, I'm going to try and read some of these. My friend bought my tickets to Saturday, so I have little choice. Not that I'm complaining. Can you stream Spider-Man No Way Home as Community Day? Oh, yeah, right? You mean you don't want to spend $200 on tickets? Oh, no, of course not. I'm good. Rex, how are you doing? I bought Symphony of the Night for the PS4. I'm excited to play it for the first time. Really good game. Or you're playing DNF Duels, King of Fighters. Oh crap, that's right. Open beta starts tomorrow. Wait. DNF Duel open beta is tomorrow? Ghostbusters, one of the most charming films I've seen this year. Ooh. It looks good. I'm hearing a lot of good things about Ghostbusters. Super pumped to see Spider-Man going to my theater's first screening at 3:30 today. It's not on a timer, thankfully, so I don't have to get it right now. Oh, okay, all right. Easy solution: we must become a hive mind. Time to assimilate. I want to see Spider-Man, but I don't want to see it in a theater, so I'll be attempting to avoid spoilers for a while. I mean, it's going to be a while before it comes to anything, right? I don't think they're going to put it on streaming services anytime soon. Or you only read comments from a dedicated channel on Discord. I mean, great segue into Discord there, and the tag in the Discord. That's not a bad idea. That's not an awful idea. Oh, I meant stream point. Oh, you meant channel points. Channel points. Okay. Not to be a financial advisor, but you spend less money subbing than bidding. Yeah, he meant channel points. Okay. Not a bad idea. Reps. Well, no. So Flip, silver lining, that's something I should say for anybody who's watching this on YouTube or for everybody that's here right now. This is not. I've started uploading these just chatting segments at the beginning of every stream to YouTube. This is not to replace Silver Lining. Silver Lining is still going to exist as the more structured, right? This is more free form. You know, something happens right before the stream, which I want to talk about. Something funny just happened, which is one of the reasons I'm late. Something happened. Something comes up really quick. I've said before, on the days that we have trouble finding a topic for Silver Lining, I've said before that a lot of the time there's stuff to talk about, but nothing that I really want to get in depth into. That's what this can be for. This segment right here is basically for little things pop up, right? The Final Fantasy thing that pops up about they're not really advertising it anymore, and I think they're pulling it off of stores for a little while. I don't find that to be a full-blown news topic, but that's something that I want to bring up. Scummy NFT practices is not a topic that I want to really get into, but I would like to take my stance and say that scummy NFT practices are horrible. Screw you, real Stan Lee's Twitter page and whoever's running that one. Screw you, Funko. And I unfollowed from Funko. I'm actually thinking about not getting rid of, but I'm thinking about taking my Funkos out of the back display here because they kind of pissed me off with the whole Bob Ross thing. I think Tara Strong said she's doing one. There's somebody else that said I know Ubisoft said that they were doing one, and that kind of pissed me off. DNF has an open beta this weekend. Catch my one-day grappler main. Hold on, let me read some of these. I heard great things about Ghostbusters. I found out today that X-Men Next Dimension is the third installment in a franchise, and the second game is great. By the way, thanks for the retweet of the clip I posted. Glad I posted something people liked. I'll be waiting a while. I heard you read what I wrote and went, wait, that's not what I meant. My brain lied to me. I meant channel points. Oh, okay. Indies talk on Friday. No, Ryan, we can do indies talk right now. Let's talk about the indie world right now. Tara Strong is an NFT. Yeah, not for Tara. We can talk about the indie world right now. I don't generally like the indie world, the indie directs. Let's call them indie directs. That's what they are. I don't generally like the indie directs. I don't hate them. I have nothing against them. But there's never anything that I want to see in there. I think the only time I really, really remember something being announced during the indie directs was when they did, hey, Arwing, when they did Axiom Verge. Wasn't that during an indie world where they did Axiom Verge 2? And then it was like available right after the stream. I know because I went and bought it right after the stream. I think that was an indie world, an indie direct. That's probably the only thing I can remember that I was like, oh man, I got to check that out. Other than that, I'm just not normally interested in a lot of the stuff that's there. Same thing. I was not really interested in a lot of stuff. There was that one game right at the beginning. That looked like Chrono Trigger. What the hell was that game called? Looked fantastic. Here's the biggest problem. Sea of Stars. Thank you. Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars, I thought, looked incredible. And then what immediately took me out of it? And then this kept happening. There were a couple of things that I thought were okay. I didn't take notes. There were a couple of things that I saw, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. Sea of Stars. Looks fantastic. Holiday 2022. I don't care. Now I don't care. Not that I don't care. When we get around the holiday 2022, I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to wait to see this game if and when it comes out. I'm going to wait to see how much it is, check it out, see what the reviews are. But I'm not going to care about it right now because it's way too far out. I'm not going to get involved in it. For all we know, it's probably going to be delayed or something. So, and that kept happening. There were certain games that I'm like, oh, that looks kind of cool. It's summer 2022. All right, so I don't have to think about it right now. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to I don't have to look at it and go, RIP my wallet. It's a year away. I really don't have to focus on it. Aztec Forgotten Gods. I think I saw it. I don't remember that one. I'm gonna have to watch it again. I feel like your game taste makes you not want to care a lot about indies. No, Ebel, and that's the thing. I should care about the indies because the indies are always very retro inspired, and I love retro games. The problem is I don't have a lot of money to be pushing a bunch of games that are, I'm sorry for saying this, and I'm sorry if this is a hot take, but on average are average experiences. So I can't throw a ton of money at a million different average games. I don't need every game to be a 9.5 out of 10. 6s and 7s are perfectly playable, tons of fun games. But I need to be picky and choosy about what my money is limited and my time is limited. And I need to be picky and choosy with both of those things, which means I need to be picky and choosy about which games I play. I love Metroidvania games. Love them. There's a ton of them that I haven't played. A ton of good indie games that I haven't played that are Metroidvanias. Why? I don't have the time and the money. Everybody's pumped about Silksong. It's like, all right, that's great. What about the 30 other games? What about every time I turn on Google or YouTube, I get a new video about a good shmup? I love shmups. I saw a video today for an arcade Aleste game, or Aleste, however you pronounce it. Looks incredible. I don't have time. I don't have time and money to play it. There's so much stuff right now that it's hard for me to be as much of a gamer as I want to be because I'm limited on time and money. A good what? Shmup, shoot 'em up. So like Gradius, like those kind of games, right? I was gonna say Mars Matrix, like everybody knows what that is. Radiant Silvergun, Ikaruga, games like that. Shmups. Hold on, let me go back up here. Sea of Stars was the only real. Why was this shown now one? Spring, summer release dates aren't that bad because indie directs are all whenever Nintendo feels like it. Yeah, you're not wrong there. Ryan, what I just mean, I don't mean that it shouldn't have been shown. I just mean that I have time before that game comes out, so I can prioritize the games that come out sooner. Also, Tara Strong isn't doing an NFT, but she's starting an advertising in a Friends movie. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so Tara Strong she's starring and advertising in a Friends movie that is being funded by NFT stuff. So I still don't care. People were hyped with Hollow Knight. I'd say welcome to being an adult, but I've been an adult longer than you have. Yeah, right? R-Type. Yeah, R-Type. Honestly, same here with time and money. I try to work on my backlog before buying stuff. And Rex, I have thrown out that idea. I am. People are like, "What's on your backlog?" You know what? I don't even know what's on my backlog anymore because there's so many games that I say I'll get to it. I'll play it at some point. I'll give it a shot. There are Final Fantasy VII Remake is on my backlog. Could not tell you when I'm going to get around to playing that game. Three Houses is on my backlog. Couldn't tell you when I'm going to get around to playing that game. So I can't even call them backlogs anymore. I feel like backlog legitimately has to be a stack of games that you have somewhere that you say, okay, it's time to play the next one, and you take the next game off the top of the pile and you play the next game. But we don't do that. We have a whole bunch of games that we say we're going to get to, and there they sit on our Steam folders, on our Switches, on our PS4s or PS5s, on our Xboxes, or on our shelves. And we don't organize them in any way that it's like, all right, here's the next game in my list. Unless you do. I think that that's probably a good idea to do. I still don't have time for games. I got tricked into unqualified gamer. What's going on? Unqualified gamer, you got to message me, man. I was going to message you to go get ramen, but I figured you were busy. Shoot 'em ups. Yeah. A shmup, you shmup. I was saying that while they aren't always the most exciting, I do appreciate Nintendo gives such a focus to specifically to indie games and devs. Oh, absolutely. I very much appreciate what they do. I think this is the first direct where most of the games are far from release. I didn't watch the Indie World presentation because I was at the cinema watching No Way Home, but my biggest problem with the Indie World stuff is just the lack of interest. Indie games don't interest me too much until it comes out and I hear good things about it. Yeah, and unfortunately, that's how I filter out my backlog. Is games come out, I wait to see if everybody's talking about them, and if they are, I pay attention. I wait months down the line. This is why I haven't gotten I didn't get Streets of Rage 4 forever, and I still don't have River City Girls, because if at this point people are still talking about how good it is, it might be worth checking out. It's been forever, right? So I really have no reason not to at this point. And I still get burned by games. I've still been burned by games. I'm sorry. For as much as people talked about how great that game is, I did not like Scott Pilgrim. I didn't even finish it. I got it for cheap because it was on like a crazy sale. And I got it, and I got to like the 5th stage. I didn't like it. It had several mechanics that I thought were throwbacks from old games, right? It was supposed to be a lot like River City Ransom, and there were certain aspects of it that I did not find enjoyable to keep playing the game. Two Metrovanias that I recommend are Monster Sanctuary, which is Pokemon with Metrovania, and Unsighted, which is Twilight. I've seen Unsighted. I've never seen the other one, but I've seen Unsighted. Oh, and I played a demo for a game called Unbound that looked really good. Excuse you. I'm broke, so I can always clear my backlog since I got like 3 games. You get like 3 games a year. No game keeps up a conversation that long unless it's a live service of some kind. You'd be surprised. I know that Cuphead, because it was years until I finally played Cuphead, and when I finally played it, it had gone on sale. People were talking about it again. I guess because there was news about the DLC and stuff, and people started talking about it again, and it came back up in conversation. So there's some games that every once in a while they'll pop back up. But yeah, you're right. No matter how good a game is, rarely does it keep getting talked about. Unless they start making a bunch of games that are kind of like it, right? You know, for as long ago as it came out, everybody still talks about Breath of the Wild, mostly because every time a game comes out that looks even remotely like it, oh, it's a Breath of the Wild game. Okay, Breath of the Wild didn't invent that kind of game either. I get it's flattering that you compare it to that, and it's not bad that you're comparing it to that, but it's an adventure. It's a colorful adventure game. Yeah, player walks up grassy hill. It's piano Sting plays. Oh my God, that's got to be Breath of the Wild. Like, look at Genshin. Like, Genshin was one that everybody's like, oh, it's like an anime Breath of the Wild. You played that game? It's nothing like Breath of the Wild. I never played, the little bit that I played Genshin, I never thought, wow, this is like Breath of the Wild. Well, I probably did. This is Aztec. That looks kind of cool. Oh, there was one game that I thought looked kind of cool. I don't remember the name of it. It was basically Spy Hunter. I think it was during the Indie World. It was either during the Indie World or it was. You know how right before the Indie World starts, they announce a bunch of stuff on Twitter that you don't see in the direct. They announced that game, and it looked like Spy Hunter. It was like the car that had all kinds of cool spy gadgets on it, and it transformed into the boat, and I think it transformed into a plane. That looked kind of cool because I really liked. I liked Spy Hunter. I was a big Spy Hunter fan. That's not on Switch. Okay, so I maybe I just saw it on YouTube. I don't know where I saw it, but I thought that was a Switch game. I don't like Breath of the Wild that much. I thought it was boring, and the lack of music bored me. Yeah, what was the name of that game? I don't remember what the name of that game was. I wonder what would happen if a player were to walk up a grassy hill to a piano sting that oversees the Shibuya crossing and transitions to a jazzy style. Oh my God, it's Breath of the Sona. Genshin, to be fair, it did take a lot of mechanics that got carried, mostly the way you explore, but fighting mechanics and its battle system is what makes it not like Breath of the Wild. I'm so behind on gaming news. Gamer, I keep up on. I have a bunch of different outlets that send me messages. Not send me messages, but when I go to YouTube, when I go to Google, when I pop on Twitter. I have a bunch of stuff that pops up about gaming news. So, and I always look at that stuff, and then I dig for other things too. Not to mention the fact that we do this here, and then you all tell me about stuff. I more times than I could ever count. I've had you guys tell me, hey, this thing is going on. And then what do? I look it up after, or I look it up right as we're talking about it. Yeah, it's almost like you do a show that requires me to be up to date. I wasn't big on Mario Odyssey either, but I liked it better. So let me tell you what happened. Separate. I'm gonna jump topics here before we get started. Let me tell you what happened when I got home. So my neighbor, ex-mother-in-law neighbor, she has a cat, Charlie. He's a big, fat, orange cat, like unnecessarily overweight. I wish that she would put him on a very strict diet because I love fat. Ryan, he looks like Totoro. He does, right? It's just he's orange. So Garfield, 100%. Not as orange. He's like a lighter orange. So I get home. He's an indoor cat. He was an outside cat that she eventually took in because he was super friendly, and she brought him in. He's a little aggressive sometimes. Yeah, he does look like, oh Lord, he coming. So I get home. What I do is I go to work, go to the gym, come home, feed Sage, come down to the kitchen, get my own lunch ready, and at the back window, there's a couple of outside cats that one of them jumps up to the window and lets me know, hey, is anybody in there? I want some food. So then I finish feeding Sage. Like, I give Sage his moist food, and then I wait, and then I give him his dry food, and then he goes and he meows in the kitchen because he wants me to go out and feed the other cats, which it was crazy that I realized that that's what he was doing one day. So I go into the kitchen to get my lunch ready, and I see a cat at the window. So I'm like, okay, there goes the cat. Instantly, I'm like, wait, orange? So at first I think it's a new cat. And then I realize, no, this cat looks gigantic. It's got to be Charlie. I open the door, and his fat ass is standing on the steps looking at me. Like, hey, you going to let me in? So I close my kitchen door so that Sage is separated from him, and because Charlie can be a bit aggressive. So I open the door. Charlie walks right in. Right, he walks in. He's fine. He's rubbing up against me, being adorable. So I'm like, okay. Now I'm worried, though. Now I'm worried because if he had gotten out, I would have gotten a message about it. I would have gotten, hey, Charlie got out. Can you keep an eye out and see if he comes home? So I call her. I call my neighbor, and I'm like, I call her, and when she answers the phone, she doesn't even say hello. She goes, did he come back? And I'm laughing. I'm like, yeah, I got him right here. He got out this morning. He got out. So I had to go and open her door and let him in, and I gave him a little bit of food. But yeah, so I'm like, what? Okay, that's this guy he's so big though. I got to get a picture of him so you can see him. He's so big. I love him. He's adorable. I love fat cats, but it's so unhealthy for them that I feel bad. I always feel really bad for them. To be fair, a lot of people Breath of the Wild reference because to them Breath of the Wild was the first game they played like that, even if the others came first. That's right, folks. We are the news. I don't know if I ever play Odyssey again. If I ever want to play Odyssey again. Latimer, I'll be honest with you. I don't really have the urge to play Odyssey either. I burned myself out on that game. If the leak about Sonic Frontiers is true, we have a big green open world, giant mechanic enemies, a main character with amnesia, and a female voice speaking to them. Those similarities are pretty blatant. Not in a million years would our cat ask for food for others. So a bit of news flash. Nick Brawl's voice acting DLC is coming soon. Are you serious? That's going to actually really help the game. I hope so. So he's How Are You Still Alive kind of big. Unfortunately, yeah, he is kind of like... When I see a human as big as he is, even when I was big, when I see a human as big as he is in like scale, I think that's not good for you at all, man. That's so bad for you. If I go to Odyssey, it's not for 100%. Yeah, if I go to Odyssey, it'll just be like to start over and give it a shot and not go crazy about it. The Nick Brawl devs are based. I hope so. That sounds like a good idea. You have to share your dieting ways with the cat. I mean, and here's the thing. Sage was big. Years ago, Sage got really big. Sage was like 20 pounds. I think one of the times we went to the vet for his checkup, he was like 19 to 20 pounds. which is a lot for a cat. So we started portioning out his food. We fed him a certain way. We stopped leaving a full bowl of dry food down because he would eat it as much as he could. And I had to scale him down. And now he's a svelte 12, 13 pounds. And he looks like he feels much better than what he used to look like. Keep in mind the source is Nintendo Life. It'd be a bit longer to play, but yeah, I'm not doing 100% again. Large, gray, fluffy cat keeps visiting our garden. He keeps coming back. Accepts food, but still doesn't let us touch him, and he doesn't trust most people still. The cats that I have outside that they come up to the window and they want food, they basically live back there. But yeah, I can't go near them. If I go within like 3 feet of them, they'll scurry away, which kind of upsets me because like it's been years. How do they not realize at this point that I am their friend? It's starting to piss me off. My goal in life is to make sure that every animal knows I am on their side, and I am not a threat to them. I think there was something else that I wanted to. I think there was something else I wanted to get into, but I'm not gonna. Oh, the other thing was that I had to restart my computer. That was just why I'm just saying that's why we were late. I had to restart everything, which apparently is a very brave thing for me to do right before a stream, is to restart my PC, because God knows how that's going to screw everything up. But I've streamed without my computer needing to restart and not doing it. And those are the times when we get the stream drops. Like it drops and then starts back up again. Sometimes that's because my computer needs an update, so I had to do that. But yeah,